There's a lot of noise out there for spiritual growth, enlightenment, all kinds of stuff. Here's how to find a mentor. There's a variety of belief systems. So, first, identify if you're looking for one that is in a belief system or is going to be teaching you a specific ideology. In addition to that, you and make sure it aligns with you, right? There's some that are like me that just kind of, hey, I've kind of done it all, so I'm open to it. I also have education in different ideologies and spiritual journeys. And so it helps. So if you can look for things like that, that's very helpful because you want them to be non-bias and it's your experience, not theirs. Um, Another thing you want to do is you want to feel them out, like just use your intuition, right? Do you vibe with them? Can you feel like you trust them? Are you able to be vulnerable with them? Because your spiritual journey is a very private one. And you need to be in a space that you feel safe and like you can continue to grow. They should be encouraging you to, but they'll push you a little bit, right? To have that experience. You don't want someone who just is always like, oh, okay, well, maybe next month we try XYZ. No, they should be pushing you to grow. It doesn't take long to get the foundations and tools in place so that you can be on your journey happily. So they should be pushing you, and you want to be looking for that, for them to hold you accountable, but you also need to be coachable and accountable. So you really need to like look at yourself and think, is this the right time for me? Is this what I need now? Right? You're done with all the Googling and the TikTok scrolling. And now you're like, I really just am not satisfied. I know there's more. Right. And that's how I started my journey. I was like, I know there's more. I was a kid, but still, I was like, I know there's more. There's just more to this. And then additionally, I would suggest also some red flags. A red flag to look for is if they're suggesting you get initiated into something that you don't fully understand, right? I know that this happened to somebody who I was like, how did you get in that situation? They went to a business appointment, had a great time. They continued the appointment into like this workshop that they were hosting that evening. And then all of a sudden they were like, I just got initiated into something I don't understand. And I'm like, wait, what? How did that happen? You need to be 100% comfortable, right? And when you're doing something like that, in addition to that, look for contracts, right? You shouldn't have a contract with somebody when you're on your journey. Um, it's one thing if it's like, you go to like Gaia or, our spiritual pathfinders program or mindful morning where it's like there's disclaimers and you got to sign off on those things. That's different. What I'm talking about is a committed contract where you're under contract with someone. That should be a red flag. Um, and then, oh, and cost. That would probably be another thing that I would consider as a high red flag is if it's like thousands of dollars to be mentored, that is usually a red flag. Most people who are really invested in this and in you aren't charging insane amounts. I mean, yes, we live in a currency world of financial money income, and so people do get paid to do these things, but you shouldn't be paying like $10,000 to get mentored. That's not somebody doing it um, typically because they're invested in you. Um, so I would like if I'm taking somebody one-on-one mentored, we got to fill each other out. You better be in my mystical mindful mornings. You better be in spiritual pathfinders. And there better be a reason. And honestly, most of the people I end up mentoring end up working here anyways. So it's just like, actually, you'd be a great match for this. And they're getting paid and mentored. And it works out very well because they usually are on different and very unique paths. And that's the thing you have to understand is everyone's path and journey is unique, yours and your mentors. And so you really want to identify where they're coming from. Come prepared with questions and don't be afraid to ask them right? How are you going to teach? What is your teaching style? What are some triggers for you? What should be things I should look out for? How long is this going to take? What do I know success looks like? Things like that. You want to be asking those types of questions, and any other questions you can think of. It's Questions are good. They get you answers. Then you're going to find out if they're the right mentor for you. And don't be desperate to find a mentor, right? Look for someone who is right for your time. You will not have just one mentor. I mean, gosh, look at spirit guides, for example, and how many of those you have, right? You will not have just one mentor. You should outgrow your mentor, and they should be able to identify when that time has come for you so that you can move on to the next step and stage of your journey so that you're not really necessarily in a phased plan, but at the same time, like, I've had multiple mentors in my journey, in my businesses, in my every part of my life. I have had mentors, and there's so much value in having one and having that relationship, someone who's really pouring into you and investing in teaching you and coaching you and getting you to the next stage you need to be at. And that's really what it's about. You, as it should be.